Well, hello there, Facebook. I know you might be thinking, Jack's back. I'm not. I realized that when I walked away from Facebook, I did it fairly abruptly. And while I did a follow up on YouTube where I'll post this video as well, and of course, it'll be on my Library TV account and other places, maybe on BitChute as well, that I kind of left y'all behind in a way that wasn't really fair or right. And what really drove that home is like I said, I'm not going to be involved in Facebook at all anymore, period. Even though you're seeing this video here, I'm only doing it because I feel an obligation to y'all to leave this behind. And I think it'll also make a pretty good video for the top of my profile for people who are trying to find me after I've left. So let's just explain why I'm doing this. And it's one, I realized it was not fair of me to not do it. But even though I deleted Facebook from my phone, the Facebook Messenger app is separate, and I'm still on it. And I started seeing conversations among the TSP forum admins and moderators. And they were really along the lines of, well, what does Jack want? And it was really weird. It was a little bit eerie. It was almost like I died. You know, like when you die and then people are like, well, what would he want us to do? What would he want us to do? How would he want us to go forward? You know, what would he want for his funeral or something like that? And what they were asking is like, well, do we keep doing the group? Do we keep sharing his links? You know, since he's so pissed off at Facebook and he's left and he wants nothing to do with it anymore, does he want us to not share his content? Look, guys, if you're going to stay on Facebook and you're going to be here anyway, and you want to share my content, please do. That's okay. I'm just not contributing anymore. I'm not contributing to something that I have determined is not in my best interest, and I really believe it's not in your best interest. But there's a lot of things that people that we care about do that may not be in their best interest, but we have no right to tell them they shouldn't do it anymore, especially if we were just doing it last week. Let's say you have some friends that drink a bit too much alcohol. You know, not somebody that's ready to blow their liver up next week or something like that, but like, alcohol is interfering with their life. They really ain't got their shit together, and you've been drinking with them for years, and you finally realize, like, yeah, the alcohol's kind of not great for me either, and you decide to cut back on your drinking or quit drinking altogether. You don't go, if you want to remain friends with those people, you don't run off and start telling them how, you're doing everything right and they're doing everything wrong. Because maybe you're not doing everything right, and maybe they're not doing everything that wrong. You don't really know. Maybe you were drinking with them all the time, and you were actually drinking a hell of a lot more than they were, and it wasn't messing their life up, and only it was messing your life up. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to tell you how to live. And I look at this a lot like social media. I look at like a bar or a club. Let's say there was a bar that we all hung out at, and we all started to become pretty dissatisfied with the management and the ownership. And the only reason we really stayed was because of each other. Like, it was just a convenient place to meet. It was just really convenient. Like, let's say we all lived pretty close to each other, and it was like right on the corner, and it was like stumbling distance to the house, and we just really didn't like what the ownership was doing with the club anymore, but, it's right here and the price is right. And all my friends are there. And let's say that you or me or anybody else in that group got to the point where we're like, this is too much. I really can no longer put my time and money and effort and invite people to this place anymore. Even though it might not be as convenient to go down the road and around the corner a bit to a different place where I have to meet new friends and new people, I have to because I can't be here anymore. I wouldn't then say, listen, guys, you guys can't do this either. I'm going to burn the place down or something stupid like that. If you were a decent person, you'd simply tell your friends, we've all been talking about how Jimmy's been running the bar like into the ground and how we should probably go somewhere else. Well, I'm actually going to go somewhere else. And I'm not coming here anymore. Jimmy said or did some things that I find to be completely unacceptable. And he no longer qualifies for my presence at his establishment or my money. And you'd say goodbye. And you wouldn't say if you were a decent person, and if you don't come with me, I'm not your friend anymore, or never talk about me while you're meeting here ever again. Like, you wouldn't do that unless you're just an ass and an egotist, right? And people think I have a big ego, but I really don't. I would never do such a thing. I've been asked, and it's even been suggested, that I shut down the TSP group and maybe even things like the regenerative agriculture group and things like that. I'm not doing that. I'm not Zuckerberg. The reason I'm left, what pushed me over the edge was when, the Zuckercock team decided to threaten to ban the group that I founded. And it wasn't about me. It was about the thousands of you guys that are in this group that have all this information in reserve, that are helping each other, to connect with each other through it, that it's like a part of what you do now. I found the threat to do that to be the last straw. So I'm not going to then turn around and then execute the threat. I'm not taking my ball and going home. I'm taking my beer to another bar. If you want to come hang out with me, I'm on MeWe. We have a TSP community there as well. We also have a RegenAg community there as well. It's not a platform for everybody, but it's pretty good. It's private. You can be as public with it as you want, but overall it's private. You have a lot of features and a lot of controls, and you're seen as the customer instead of the product. Because on Facebook, where you're probably listening to this, you're the product. You are sold on a daily basis. If you're okay with that, that's okay. But that's what's going on. So you can come over to MeWe. I'm also on Gab now. I've been told there's a lot of crazy on Gab. You know what? There is a lot of crazy on Gab. They have a block feature. It's no big deal. I'm glad there's crazy there. I'm glad there's crazy there because if crazy's allowed, then my common sense is allowed. And I'm not going to be threatened or banned or shut down because I share a video about a doctor recommending a treatment for a medical condition. So I'm fine with the fact. And I'm on Parler. And people tell me all three of those have a lot of right-wing ideology or whatever. Of course they do. Of course they do. Because Facebook and Twitter and all these freaking assholes in the technocracy, they're not banning leftist ideology. So the first people out are the people that are more right-thinking politically. But you know what? When I post something about how to grow a garden, I don't give a shit what your politics are. And you guys know me, I'm not right nor left. I am a big, old, scary voluntarist, an agorist, an anarchist. I don't believe one bit in the political system. And yet they're still silencing me. Nothing I do is designed to support one side or the other of the politics, and they're still silencing me. And they're threatening you because of what I posted. So I'm going elsewhere. What do I want? I want you, all of you, to do what is right for you. I want you to make a decision for yourself. Fully informed. I understand what Facebook's doing. I still am going to use it. That's okay. I want you to share all the information you think is worthy of sharing on Facebook. And if that happens to be my information, please do, and thank you for it. I want you, if you feel that you can't tolerate this anymore, to come hang out with us someplace else. And if you're not sure, why not pick one of the three platforms and just hang out and get to know other TSP community members on it for a couple months. See how it goes. And maybe just don't use Facebook for a week or two. And then go back and look at it. Or if you want to stay, stay. I really mean that. There's no ulterior motive here. I'm only doing this quick video out of a sense of obligation. And I want to apologize here at the end for leaving so abruptly without doing something like this. I didn't really realize that I had done what I had done to you guys. I really didn't understand that you guys would be like, shit, I don't know what to do now. I thought it'd be obvious. Jack left. We can do whatever we want. Now, you guys that are moderators on the TSP forum, how much effort do you want to extend into continuing to moderate that forum? That's up to you. And it's always been up to you. Maybe I've never said it enough, but I appreciate all of you guys that serve as moderators and administrators on all the groups that I've ever founded on Facebook. Thank you so much. And, I see no reason for anybody to make a big deal about this in, the regenerative agriculture group or any of the other groups that we founded. They didn't really threaten those groups. I mean, people are going to come to their own decisions about Facebook, good or bad. It's not like I am the end-all, be-all for how bad Facebook is. I think we all know how bad Facebook is. I will say this right at the end. I stayed for you guys. And now, I'm leaving for you guys. Be well. If you want to find me, you know where to find me. thesurvivalpodcast.com. And you can find me on alternative social media platforms. I'm not leaving social media. I'm just leaving the social media platforms that see me as a product to be sold to the highest bidder. Be well.